Well, this has to do with a planned fishing trip. My friend Frank Phoenix and I planned this thing. We were really ready to go. We had every type of bait you could possibly think of, and we had dug worms over there at Costello's Ranch, and it had the whole works, even a can of Nesbitt's corn. That's what the Indian people around here, that's their secret weapon, fish. Yeah. So we walk on down to the Truckee River. This is 1950. We go over to Idlewild Park, and then we head a little bit to the west. We get down into the river, and the river is pretty much still. There's puddles here and there. Well, we're fishermen, so you work with what you got. So we're trying the salmon eggs, we're trying this and that and the other thing. We're not even getting suckers to bite. It was just absolutely terrible. We tried the corn, the rest of it. We even turned over rocks and got the little crawdads, ripped the tail off the inside. You know, we're fishermen, you have to understand this. But everybody knows that if fishing isn't good in Reno, it's always good in Verdi. The fishing is always better in Verdi. And about that time I look up, and here was this train just chunk, 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 just barely moving. And look at this thing, and I told Frank, I says, hey, everybody knows the best fishing in Verdi's. Let's just hop that. We'd get right back off, no problem at all. We'd be there in 5-10 minutes. I talked him into it. Safety first, though. When we looked at where we were going to get on, which was these 4 rails on the outside, these rungs on the outside of the car, because we don't want to do anything dangerous like the one in between the cars. What if we fell off? We could get hurt. I mean, we're smarter than that. Yeah, we were almost Mary S. Stoughton graduates. Yeah. I get on the first one. Frank gets on the second, get wrapped in, got an arm up top, got my leg in there braced, got my fishing creel, pole, everything's tucked away fast, just real solid. Picking up a little bit, trunk, 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 trunk. This thing's really starting to roll. By the time we went through Verdi, we had to be doing 60 miles an hour, and we were picking up speed. Oh my God, this thing is shaking and it's blowing smoke. And even in the middle of July, it was cold. We're coming into Truckee and we're just freezing. That wasn't the worst of it. Do you have any idea how many miles we have of snow sheds and tunnels? Over 30 at the time, 30 miles worth. Try going through one of the snow sheds with the smoke blowing. You got your t-shirt up over your head trying to make sure you can breathe while your stomach is freezing and while it just shook the right out of you. Yeah, lost my creel, lost my pole. Just having a terrible time with this. It was just as scary could be. And even as big as those snow sheds were inside, and they are monstrous. When you put a train in there with it, it seems to shallow up. We're going through Colfax on the other side. And this one, somebody called in and says, hey, there's 2 crazy kids that just jumped on that train when it slowed down a little bit. Yeah, it slowed down to about 35, 40 miles an hour. By the time we pulled into Sacramento, the police were there, the everybody with any authority at all was there to greet us. And there wasn't any Hawaiian leis or anything like that. They were ticked. And then whatever possessed you to hop that train up there in Colfax? I said, we didn't come from Colfax. Where did you come from? Reno. Reno? Oh my God. So they wind up calling my dad. He had to get off of work, and that was about 5 o'clock. The old Highway 40, and this is 1950, took him a while to get there. About 10 o'clock, 10:30 that evening, my dad finally finds where we are. Loads us up, and we're driving back. We enjoyed complete silence. My dad was so upset, he had a hold of the steering wheel on this old Chevy that we had. I looked over there and I said, My God, those look like hands. They were pure white. And I go, you know, I'm really happy that he's got a hold of the steering wheel and not my neck. We finally get up to the Donner Summit, and he breaks silence. He says, what in the world would ever possess you to do something so stupid as to jump on a train, hitchhike over there and see what happened? And I said, well, Dad, everybody knows the best fishing's in Verdi. So that was the only thing I could think of. So that's why the story's told like that. But to cap it off, the next day I'm waiting to really get it. Nothing. Day after that, nothing. A week later, my dad, nothing. I never found out exactly what he was thinking till I went into the Navy, come back on one of my leaves, and I finally asked him, Dad, why didn't you go after me with the train incident? And he says, son, it's like this. If the experience didn't get your attention, there is nothing I could possibly say or do that would.